It's heavier than it looks, isn't it?
So today I'm going to the Perth Mint. This place was established in 1899, and it was back then for making coins for the British Empire. So there was this gold rush in this part of Australia, where they suddenly found a lot of precious metals, including gold, in this region, and so a lot of people migrated here. So after the British dependence ended, it shifted to Australian government, and today it stands as the only mint in Australia dealing with like precious metals and stones like diamond. At the same time, also official mint for coins in the country. So this is a statue indicating the finding of gold in this region, and that's how the city Perth got established as well. An old British style architecture. This is the shop. So they have a lot of silver coins based on different themes and like popular movies. So in display here are their major jewellery products, mainly. So there's like a long shelf with filled with lot of items. So apparently a lot of people come here during festivals, even like Indians during Dhanteras. Other than regular gold, there is this place is famous for the pink diamond, which is found in the Kimberley mines of Western Australia. So Australia is the largest producer of pink diamonds, and the rate changes with the intensity of the pink color of the diamond. Here is pink diamonds with Australian opal, and this is the costliest item on the shelf. This ring made of pink diamond with extremely pink intensity. So the ant has a backstory that the Kimberley mines were found by ants which were carrying diamond particles, and they dug under the ant hill. There was a guided tour to explain what the different gold nuggets and the history of the place.
But they found nothing. So they went back home, dejected. The next day, they went out there with their horse and cart. But it was only his dad that was digging that day. Jimmy, however, had remembered they'd gone over quite a large pothole on both trips out. So he thought he'd take a look inside and see what he could find in it. And what he found was this nugget in that pothole. Now, obviously, quite excited with what he had found, he lifted the golden eagle above his head and started yelling, "Dad! Dad, look what I found! Look at this nugget!" Now, bear in mind, this was 1931, so still the height of the Great Depression, and there were many robbers and thieves running around looking to take anything and everything. His dad knew this, and so he quickly yelled back to his son, "Jimmy, put down that dead bird and get back to work." So luckily, he caught on to what his dad was saying, hid the golden eagle back inside the pothole, and they were able to collect it later on that afternoon. Now, the other problem for them was they had found this nugget on a Friday. The banks didn't open again until the following Monday, so they had to keep this safe throughout the weekend. And they made this a lot harder for themselves by hosting a party with all of their friends and family to celebrate them finding this nugget. Now, as most of you know, word gets around quickly in small towns, and so in the middle of the night, they had strangers knocking on their front door, all wanting to have a look at this nugget that was simply lying on their kitchen table. Now, definitely not the smartest of ideas to have when you've just found a large gold nugget, but this did somehow work out for them. And so Monday morning, they were able to bring it into the bank where it was weighed at 32 kilos. Now, Jimmy and his dad received £5,000 for this nugget, but unlike decent notes, they didn't just hold on to the money. Now, I say they invested it very wisely. Other people would say that it is the most Australian thing you could have done with it because they bought themselves a pub. So, what was once called the Excelsior Hotel was then renamed to the Golden Eagle Hotel after this very nugget. And that pub stayed within their family until 2012, where unfortunately it was burnt down in a fire. So the Golden Eagle and the Welcome Stranger no longer exist as nuggets today. So they've been melted down into coins and bars sold around the world. Luckily enough, we do have our own range of gold nuggets inside, as well as a few other very special items as well. So, if we now all follow me in, whilst it isn't circulating currency, it does have legal tender. So if you're able to see the effigy of the Queen, just underneath it there is a number. Now, that number is the amount of money the bank can give you for this coin. So say I own the coin and I rolled it into the bank, they'd have to legally give me $1 million. That's not too shabby at all. I mean, who doesn't want to be a millionaire these days? But the second price is far more valuable, and that is, of course, what it would get at today's gold market price. Now, I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to that gold price lately, but it's been hanging around at about $3,500 per ounce. So if we were to sell this coin as a ton of gold at today's gold market price, you'd be looking at a very handy $115 million for it.
These are some weights and measures that were used back in the day to measure like gold, sovereign weights. So it's like to measure the purity rates, etc.
Welcome back to the Metal House. Now, this room was our original refinery for 91 years. Of course, back in those days, we didn't just have the one furnace here, we actually had 15 lining this back wall, all burning over 1,200 degrees Celsius. So you can imagine it got quite hot within this room. In fact, one day they put the thermometer up onto the back wall where it reached temperatures of 57 degrees. You have to feel sorry for those poor workers that were here at that time too, because they weren't given anything to protect themselves except for a thin leather apron. And they weren't given gloves either. They would also find scraps of material that they then wrap around their hands, and either way that you look at it, this is a pretty minimal way of protecting yourself from that heat. But I would argue that this leather apron is almost better than what they gave you in the 1950s. Because if you were here at that time, you would have been given asbestos safety gear. Now that is 3 words I know that I've been putting together. Asbestos safety gear sounds so ridiculous. It does make you want to put on this leather apron instead. Now the gold that is inside our furnace today isn't just lying in a pool at the bottom. It's actually sitting in one of these. This is what we call a crucible. And we like to think of it as a large coffee mug because it's essentially made out of the same materials. So it is a big plate pot covered with graphite. They can withstand temperatures up to 1,700 degrees. So our gold is quite safe inside of them. But they don't last forever. After 2 weeks, we do need to switch them out because they deteriorate and start looking a lot like this one. Now you can see that most of that graphite has now flaked away and the insides become quite bubbly and porous. So that from off the spats and onto the floor. Then we also have hybrid workwear, long sleeves of course to cover up any skin that could be going over the top of the furnace. But of course, the centerpiece of this whole outfit is this apron. That does come with its own matching set of mittens and sleeves. So when I've got all this kit on, I am pretty much ready for a night of disco. But I'm also pretty much ready to pour your gold as well. Now the apron and the mittens are made out of 3 different layers. So this shiny outside is aluminium, and that is used to reflect all of the heat from the furnace away from my bodies. Underneath is merino wool. Merino wool is non-combustible, so it won't burst into flames if it touches the gold today. It will just smoulder and smoke bits. Now in between is something that puts me among astronauts, F1 drivers, and I've heard it makes me virtually bulletproof as well. And that is of course Kevlar. So I'm feeling very safe and secure with all of this gear on, but we are missing one final piece, and that is of course my face shield. So quite honestly, I don't want to be sticking my dead face over 1,000 degrees of heat and hoping that the hair will still be on my head by the time I finish that haul. Now whilst I am wearing a gold and the shield is down, I actually won't be talking to you, one, because I won't have the mic on, but also that my dead voice cannot carry through this. So I'm actually going to give you a quick little rundown of what the haul will look like, and then we can actually crack on with it. So firstly, turn off the rest of the lights, make my way to the switchboard and switch off the furnace. And that is where my time begins. Once that furnace is off, the gold inside will be completely solid in 60 seconds. So I will be moving fairly quickly. I'll go away to the furnace, grab the lifting arm, then open up the lid. Once that's locked into place, I'll then get myself a set of lifting tongs. Now, like the name suggests, these tongs are used to get the crucible out of the furnace and onto our pouring table, where I'll switch these out for my next set of tongs. Now, no surprise if you guess the name of these ones, because these are my pouring tongs, and they help me pour out all that gold into our mold. Now, our mold right now is just sitting on top of that furnace, getting a bit of heat treatment, so the bar won't stick to it once it's all solidified. Now, while the gold is solidifying in that mold there, I'll make my way back over to my workbench and switch out my bins for a set of leather welding gloves, just to make it a bit easier in the next steps. I'll also grab an aluminium tray, bring it over to the table. That gold will solidify, and so I'll flip out the bar onto the tray. Then, happily show off to you a brand new gold bar. That will be very, very hot. So I won't be holding it this close to my face. I will be putting it into this tub of water here. Now there's nothing special about it, just plain old room temperature tap water. And that bar will stay there for a few minutes until it's completely cooled down, where I'll then take it out, dry it off with my towel, and then come back in front of you all with a brand new shiny gold bar. So, I have just the one question that I need you all to answer for me, and that is, should I get started? It's not bad, it's a bit of a delayed reaction to that, so I think we're going to have to try again and hope that we're a bit louder. Never know, great as the room is building, it might shake down a couple more gold particles onto yourselves, so my signal will go again. Should I get started? Yeah! Look at that, well done everyone, much better effort. So give me a tip to get the rest of my equipment on and finish getting set up, but after that, it will be lights out, and away we go. This is very hot. So it's about 900 degrees right now. So I won't be touching with my bare hands anytime soon. Yeah, that won't be going too well for me. So we're just popping in our water here for a bit. So it's cooled down nicely. Okay, even by the time these stage lights turn back on, it is now that lovely golden colour that we know and love today. Now again, this is still very hot, so it's about 700 degrees at this point in time. So I think we might just leave it in our water for a little bit longer so it's cooled down completely.
It's heavier than it looks, isn't it? Feels good, doesn't it? Don't even think about it. Are you feeling lucky?
This is an old coin press. So back in the day, this is how they used to make coins. And here you can measure your weight in gold, equivalent rate in gold it gives out. And this is an old coin press machine that they have remodeled to like give souvenir coins. So yeah, this is not the modern machine, but yeah, now it's like a historic artifact giving out cool souvenirs. Like yeah, struck at Perth Mint. These are different types of gold, like the based on their shape in which they're found. You can find gold dust, gold like other stones hosting gold particles, the complete nugget itself, like this one, the gold stonefish, or even tinier ones, gold infused with quartz. So yeah, there are like a lot of varieties which are on display here. This is a huge gold nugget, the golden beauty. And few more nuggets, and then comes the Normandy nugget, which is the second largest gold nugget in existence. Like there have been larger ones, but they have been melted away, so this one is still intact. This one is huge, but it's like gold infused with quartz, so you can see the white parts are quartz. It's called King Henry. And the Karratha queen, which is silver. Other than this, of course, being a mint, it makes coins. So a lot of their historic and old coins were also on display. You can see a lot of animals, Australian animals. And of course, we as a human race, how obsessed we are with this particular metal. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.